multi-stakeholder, we're beginning to move it closer and closer to where people are, which means the youth is becoming more and more important in this framework that we are dealing with. Now that the internet grows most rapidly, also at the edge, should be good news to us, because at the national level is where the internet is going to expand. And so we have to make sure that we get the right balance in policy so that the expansion can be what we deserve. Anyway, having said all that, I'd just like to thank you very much for coming. And I hope that you enjoy the deliberations just as much as I'm looking forward to it. And I wish you a good IGF meeting. Thank you very much.
Mr. Quaynor, let's take from the list before me the address of GISPA, Alex Sulzberger.
A few things about GISPA, the Ghana Internet Service Provider Association. I am a member of the association, a founding member, and I'm a private entrepreneur doing business in the internet sector since 2000 in this country. And GISPA was formed about 15 years ago, and we established about 10 years ago to this date the Ghana Internet Exchange Point, one of our major achievements. Unlike other countries around us in Francophone West Africa or Nigeria, the internet was driven in Ghana since 1995 by the private sector. In other countries, the big telcos play a major role in the delivery of internet. In Ghana, it was Professor Quaynor and other private entrepreneurs who started the initiative to bring internet to this country and its inhabitants. And I am thrilled that I am part of this community that drove over the past 15 years the development of the internet to bring it more to the masses. And we have a quite interesting development in the telecommunication and internet sector, where the penetration numbers are growing every year. And we thank also the Ministry of Communication and NITA for initiatives like this, the Ghana Internet Governance Forum, to bring attention to some pressing issues that pertain this sector for now and the future years to come. Professor Quaynor mentioned the openness of the internet and availability to everybody without restriction, like we're seeing it in other countries today. And GISPA is playing a vital role through the exchange point, peering local traffic here in Ghana, hosting content delivery platforms such as Google and others that allow faster and more efficient delivery of content services in Ghana to the end users. I thank you for the opportunity to speak here today, and I think I'm on the panel later on also to deliberate a bit more about the Ghana Internet Exchange, the state of it is, how it is today, and how we plan to develop it in the future. Thank you very much.
National Communications Authority will also give us the word.
NCA, being the regulator of the communications industry, plays a very central role in the ecosystem of communications within the country. And we are responsible for licensing the organizations or the companies that provide internet access within the country. We have over the past years been actually doing that diligently, and we hope by actually increasing the number of companies that do this and also licensing more spectrum for internet, we'll be able to increase the penetration within the country. And I guess a lot of you have seen that in recent times we've actually coming up with new frequencies for mobile, internet access in the 800 megahertz region. That has the potential to actually increase the amount of internet penetration within the country. I know that the citizens here will have lots of questions regarding quality of service, charges from mobile operators and how much data bundles that people give out and how much is being taken away by the mobile service providers. But these are all issues that we need to discuss within the structure of this forum that we have. For this to be the third one, in fact, it shall be done once a year, like what happens in other jurisdictions, but it's important that the group actually plans for it to happen every year. You'll notice from deliberations the whole day today that it's a very important forum where people in the internet ecosystem share ideas, new projects, new ideas, new things that are happening in the internet, because the internet area is a very dynamic area, and it's important for us to have an idea of what is going on internationally and also locally. The ecosystem within the country has grown from the early days when we started this project called the Internet in the early 90s with Professor Quino. And what we see today is much, much different from what we started so many years ago. And in the years to come, it's also going to be much different because of the fact that the internet has become the foundation for all communications within the world. So I'd like to welcome you once again, and we hope that you have a fruitful discussion and everything goes on according to plan. Thank you very much.
William Tevi, the Director General of NCA. We will move on to NITA, and Mr. George Atabwati is here in person.
Director of the Ministry of Communication, Chairman of NITA Board and convener of this forum, Director General NCA, Director General AITA KACE, Rep of GISPA, other dignitaries on the high table, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to be part of this forum. Over the years, government through the Ministry of Communication has invested a lot in NITA, especially to give access.
Calling for the correction of the name is AITI. Yes, so it's not AITA, it's IT.
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to be at the Ghana IGF. Ghana IGF feeds into the West Africa IGF and the African IGF before we go to the international meetings, the global IGF. It is perhaps the most important multi-stakeholder meeting that as a global community we've ever organized. So it's really a pleasure, and even though I breach protocol, I really want to congratulate Eric Acuna for having pulled together this event with the kind of representation we're seeing, the kind of program that we're seeing. Can we give Eric and his team a round of applause? There's a phrase that I think as Ghanaians we need to become more familiar with, and that is digital Darwinism. The survival of the fittest in the digital age. As Ghanaians, we are very complacent. We've had leaders like Dr. Nina Akufo-Addo who have blazed a trail, and we think that, yes, it's okay, all this internet stuff, there's a few top engineers and we can leave it to them. We cannot, and that is why the Ghana IGF is so important. I was at a recent meeting and somebody from Silicon Valley stood up proudly and said 84% of all the money being generated by the internet is sitting in Silicon Valley. Immediately, I doubted his statistic. I was just wondering what methodology did he use to come up with that conclusion. But the fact is that when it comes to the economic gains from the internet, Africa as a continent is lagging behind, and we have to ask ourselves, is Ghana making the best use of this very important resource? We are latecomers, and that means that we really need to fight for the openness and the transparency that has characterized the internet and has allowed so many people to have the economic gains that they've had. If they change the rules and they cut us out, we will not have that hope of being able to benefit from it as we should. Whether it is economics, whether it is open education, all of those things will be cut off from us. So as we deliberate today, I really want us to think about the business angle of it. And I want us to become more conscious of the fact that we hold new gold. That new gold being the data gold. Each time I ask people who are happily on social media giving away their data, what is the business model that allows that company to give you that free access? Most of them have never thought of it at all. They're not thinking of the business models. They're not recognizing the value of their data. And as we enter that tension between the security of data, the ownership of data, and privacy, we need people to become more aware. We need that trust and stability, the fairness and the balance of the internet. It's an ecosystem that every professional, and you know, in Ghana they say professional, then they call doctor, lawyer, engineer, but for me, every professional is somebody who is working. So everybody who is old enough to be earning a living has to be concerned about the internet, because it's an ecosystem that concerns all of us. The infrastructure of all infrastructures, which is dependent on an ecosystem of human beings who will make it work. So I'm really hoping that this will be an annual event. I'm happy that Dr. George Atabuateng, who is the DG of NITA, will be coming to live next door to me in the new building. It means NITA, you have to drive it, NCA, you have to drive it, MOC, you have to drive it. But what will really drive it is associations like we've seen from the youth associations, women's associations, because even though the IGF is an annual event, people are always meeting in working groups throughout the year to make it happen. So I do hope that as a group today, you will take the message of the Ghana IGF beyond today, so that we keep the momentum going and we make sure that our real thanks to all those who worked hard to pull this event together means that it's actually successful in coming out with useful outcomes. Thank you very much.
President of Internet Society Ghana, Marcus Adoni.
Representative of the Minister of Communications, Professor Nikweno, convener of Ghana IGF Forum, distinguished members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. On behalf of the Global Internet Society and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Ghana Chapter, I would like to welcome all of you to the second edition of Ghana IGF. The Ghana Chapter of the Society is keeping with one of the cardinal mission statements of the Global Society to provide forum for discussion of issues that affect internet evolution, development, issues in technical, commercial, societal, and other contexts. Is happy to be a partner in convening this forum. The chapter was a partner in convening
of the first forum in 2011. Since the last forum, ISOC Ghana chapter has convened several meetings to discuss issues around the internet at its quarterly social evening events. ISOC Ghana also organizes high-level capacity building for network and system engineers at its annual GHNOC meetings, which is instituted in 2009. In the future, the chapter will hold its annual one-week training workshop back-to-back with the National IGF as a pre-event. Mr. Chairman, as the internet continues to grow, there is an increasing need to bring stakeholders together to discuss key issues around the internet and its governance. The Ghana chapter and its principals will continue to support the internet community in Ghana by providing the platform and resources to support the sector ministry engage with stakeholders to fine-tune the blueprints for developing our internet space as enshrined in the ICT for Development policy. The Internet Society will work with all stakeholders to build structures around our Internet Governance Forum to ensure that it becomes a permanent feature in Ghana. Let me once again welcome all of you to this forum. We look forward to a very successful deliberations and great outcomes. Thank you.
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try and be very brief and to the point. First of all, I'd like to extend my greetings from the CEO of Garnet, Professor Momoni Dakobu, since he couldn't be here today, and he hopes that I hope that I can be able to fulfill his issues well. The other thing, for most of you that don't know, I'm representing Garnet, which is the Ghanaian Academic and Research Network. And it's basically what is called an NREN, a National Education Network, which aims to build a high-speed network that connects all academic and research institutions within the country, and then by extension to other research institutions across the continent. And, so it's a vital component in today's modern and teaching and learning and research in the academic community. And as we all know, when we come to in terms of a Ghanaian context, gains made from academic research and academic networks from using the internet is lacking because we don't have the necessary infrastructure and other things to move forward. And one of the main aims of Garnet is to make sure that this is achieved. And in the context of the internet governance and these related issues, it's one way of ensuring the academic freedom and the advancement of our academic community is to ensure that the internet continues to remain open and supports all sorts of research and innovation. So without that, it's pretty hard to be put at rest with today's standards. And then of course, innovations, as alluded earlier by Dr. Kweno, it's in multiple ways. Internet infrastructure, services, devices, and even apps. All these form part of the various ecosystem of the infrastructure we're talking about. And then it enables better research, more opportunities for education, more cross-disciplinary and cross-border collaboration in all research projects. So it's not too far from where we are. And I'll be giving a more detailed presentation in the afternoon, but then this is just to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I look forward to giving more insight about the works of Garnet and how each one can contribute. Thank you.
I'll present his address, but in acknowledgements, I'll rather start with ladies and gentlemen. This is because, and for the purpose for which we are here, it is the opinion, it is the contribution of you that would help shape the policies and the debate for the promotion of the internet. So if you decide that we should shut off the internet on Sunday, we only have to agree. But I hope this must be a consensus view. The speech before me, and I want to read it as it has been delivered. It goes like this. Let me borrow Dorothy's phrase, all protocols observed. As we all know, the Tunis Agenda for the Information Society of 2005 provided for the United Nations Secretary General to convene the Internet Governance Forum as a multi-stakeholder, inclusive and transparent forum which facilitates discussions on public policy issues related to Internet governance. The forum welcomes all stakeholders in the Internet ecosystem, including all entities accredited by the World Summit on the Information Society, or WSIS for short. The main theme of the 10th IGF is evolution.